Hello, everyone. Welcome to DCU Daily. Today is Hump Day, and we are talking about all things news-worthy today. Not just DC, but in regards to all news. And of course, we are going to be getting into so much stuff, so much news today. The biggest thing, obviously the impending Oscars this coming Sunday. 4-ish days away, and people are ready for it, and there's still a lot to talk about. We have some more predictions. We went over some predictions yesterday, but now we're also going to be going over more predictions, as well as ballots, presenters, performers, as well as a tease on upcoming award shows for next year's film. So we will be getting into that as well. And then we're going to be talking MCU Weekly. It is the month of Daredevil. And so with that, we are going to be talking more in regards to Daredevil ahead of its Season 2 premiere in a couple weeks, as well as maybe talking a little bit of X-Men. And then MovieTalk Madness, we got so much stuff. The biggest thing is that Kate Winslet has been cast in yet another IP. She is, done with Avatar after, her character died, so now she is moving on to another glorious IP, and we'll see what it is. And with all of that, we have a couple more things in regards to certain people being rich and certain people signing deals and roles and other such nonsense, of course, talking about all that. And then speaking of nonsense, we have quick hits. And then DCU Daily, we have more quick hits in regards to some more characters, some comic writers that are based, not like Tom King. And then Supergirl kind of received a bit of a big story today. You could probably see it from the title, but apparently Junkie XL is out and somebody else is in, and we're going to be talking about that. And then finally, apparently your boy David, not Zaslav, but Ellison, the incumbent Lex Luthor that is going to own both Paramount and Warner Brothers, apparently he is a fan of DC. So we're going to be talking about that as well. All of that and more right after this intro.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Welcome to the news. Here we are. I am your host, John. Lovely to see all the people in the chat, and by all of you, I mean like 2 of you. But that's okay. They still got a file in here. We have D. Cole, we have Hunter Iggy, and maybe a couple other people that are just lurking for now. So we're going to be getting into that as well. Got to put up that little bit of banner and then introduce my co-host, Dan. Dan the man is here. He just came in just in the nick of time. Dan, how are you doing on this wonderful hump day, Wednesday? Mike. It's today is hump day.
I know what you're talking about. I was here the whole time. But anyway, no, I'm excited to be here. It's going to be a fun show. Daredevil Season 3, the Odyssey Prologue. We can have another opportunity to see that. I actually I figured out the date when the Michael early screenings are going to be happening, which I realized we talked about yesterday. But anyway, so there's lots to get into. I'm excited. The DC stuff is very interesting. Maybe that Supergirl job is, cursed after all. Like, holy shit. And
it's like the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
Yeah. No, that's a very good analogy.
Or like the Spinal Tap drummer It's just like no matter what happens, we're just gonna
yeah.
keep cycling through them. So we'll
Hey,
be talking
Brogu.
about that. Hello, Brogu. But before we get into that, we do have other stuff to talk about. The first thing being the award season. Obviously, we're going to be probably talking about this for the rest of the week, considering it is Sunday. So let's get into that.
The Oscars are on Sunday. Yes.
So we have more predictions. We did talk about some predictions yesterday, but Pete Hammond had some Oscar predictions, as well as who the Academy voted for and who didn't even cast a goddamn ballot. So we're going to be talking about that. But yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff in regards to prediction stuff. We went through a whole thing. You can, go back and watch that from yesterday, but sorry. But yeah, there has been a lot of stuff in regards to these predictions. A very interesting read. Obviously, we're not going to be going through the whole thing, but a lot of stuff in regards to into who voted and who didn't vote, and what things are going to be aligning to. So
the thing about this article that was the most, to me, that was the most interesting thing, because remember there was this Variety article not too long ago. I think you were on the show and you might have talked about this, maybe even with Liz. They had a couple of people sort of like anonymously submit to Variety who they voted for in all the categories. So like, there were a few of them, like a fraction of the actual total count, but they were named like who they were from. So like any number of the thousands of Academy folks. This here, if you scroll down in this article, somebody sent Pete Hammond like this honest letter, if you will. And I don't know if you could zoom into this, if we could read this, because that right there, John, because basically this article, Peter Hammond is making a point, which he's like the big Deadline movie critic, and he's making the point that with the new rules, we talked about them last year, the Academy has made it now so that their ballot is now all digital, and it's tied to their streaming service. I forget the name of what it's called right now in the moment, but basically, unless you watch the movie and it's like they've been able to verify it because you played it back and you watched through it, you can't vote for the category. Like that rule applies not for nominating the movies, but it does apply for voting for the winner from the chosen nominees. So basically, if you are an Academy member, you would have had to watch Sinners in order to vote in any of the categories that Sinners was eligible for, as well as literally every other movie in said category. So, which I think for us is like, you would think that would be common sense, but also the other side of it is like, a lot of people in the Academy are like working Hollywood, producers, directors, actors, writers, and even like production designers, costume designers. So they're busy people and it's not like they're working full-time jobs where they get to get time off to do this. It's not like when we are asked to go to the polls. I mean, most of us don't get the day off from work to go vote, right? So and in this instance, you got to like watch. I mean, even this year, when the number of movies being nominated across the board is still really small, it's like a dozen or so movies that you see across the board. With some, in some of the smaller categories like short films and stuff, those are like sort of different. But as far as feature films go, there's only like a dozen or so, which is I think like the lowest. It's tied for the lowest number, and it's like I think the last time we had that was like a 10 some odd years ago. But the point is, this one person from the Academy sent this letter to Pete Hammond, and no, I mean, and I agree with you, Brogu, but like, the point I'm trying to make is there are different sides to this. There are nuances. I think at the very basic, yes, you should, right? But like, if you're somebody who's like working on 10, 12 more projects a year and you're constantly tied up doing that, and both of us, John, you and I have probably got, we've got some experience working on sets and stuff. They're 10, 12-hour days, possibly longer. And a lot of times it's physical work, and even as a director, like you're moving around a lot and you're not just like sitting in an office typing out emails kind of thing, right? And so it's draining work. Like you don't often get days off. Sometimes you might finish one project and travel to the next. So there are people basically who are Academy members who might not just have the time to watch every movie.
Then they shouldn't be part of the Academy. Like
Which no,
that's
look, I
like the
understand what you mean.
basis of it.
But and look, it's not. I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying there's some practical realities to it, and I can understand some of what they mean because, realistically speaking, I understand some of what they're saying. But the other thing, I think maybe this is a bigger conversation around, like for example, in this letter, I'm going to read it in a second. There's also this idea of like a lot of the Academy members are people like us where they don't really seek out to train dreams. You know what I mean? They're not really like they would have probably gone to see Sinners, sure, but like they're likely not gonna have heard of Sentimental Value until it became a big awards contender. Um, and even though they have access to the streaming service to watch it and such, I mean, look. We all have like streaming services we pay for where there's movies that we want to see that still are on our bucket list for years on end. So I'm just trying to like I'm just trying to like kind of set the stage. But this letter here is from somebody anonymously who wrote, who's an Academy member, so who did have an opportunity to vote. Hello, D. Cole, who sent this letter to Pete Hammond, the critic from Deadline. He said, he or she or they said, hi, Pete. I enjoy your articles. I thought you might be interested to hear a take from an Academy member about this year's rules. I haven't seen even half of the nominated movies, nor do I care to because my time is far too valuable to spend watching movies that I know I'd never vote for, much less be able to sit through. I found most of the films I did see to be mediocre, and nothing that I nominated made the final cut. Therefore, since I don't want to lie, I decided I simply would not vote at all this year. Yes, I'd like to vote for K-pop Demon Hunters, but not at the price of watching 4 other movies I know won't be as good. But really, the Oscars have become pretty irrelevant. Nora, question mark, Coda, question mark, Everything Everywhere All at Once, question mark, versus The Godfather, Lawrence of Arabia, Patton, question mark. Which 3 movies will people still be watching 5 years from now? It's all about the film, not the award. Rather than watch the awards, I'll probably watch Singing in the Rain or North by Northwest or The Searchers. All caps, real Best Pictures,
Yeah, but
which weren't even nominated.
the thing is
Feel
about
free to
that,
quote me, but please don't use my name. There you go.
he
Yeah.
is kind of cherry picking
Anthony.
a little bit.
Well, again,
because,
he, she, or they, we don't know who it
yeah,
is. But
he, she, they, whatever.
Yeah.
But they
this
they
person.
are a little bit cherry picking because maybe people are not going to watch Anora 5 years from now. I mean, people have pretty much stopped talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once, even though that had the grip on the nation back in 2022. So there is that. Like, I can kind of see that. But then at the same time, who the fuck is watching Cimarron? Who's watching Cavalcade? Who's watching the Broadway Melody of 1940? Nobody. Because those are who's watching How Green Was My Valley? I literally mentioned this yesterday. Who's watching that? Meanwhile, who's watching Citizen Kane? That's just how it is. It's just like there's a lot of movies that won Best Picture that are not going to be Shakespeare. Nobody watched Shakespeare in Love. People still go on and on about Saving Private Ryan. People don't really watch what was another one that won that like nobody remembers. It's just there has been really good years and then there's been really fucking bad years. There have been movies where there have been years where The Godfather wins, where Schindler's List wins, where like all these fucking amazing movies win, but then you have like a movie like Gandhi, like not a bad movie, but like in comparison to like the rest of the Best Picture nominees, people still watch E.T. Like people still remember E.T. So whether like another great one, Driving Miss Daisy. Nobody talks about Driving Miss Daisy anymore. Everybody talks about Do the Right Thing, which wasn't even nominated. So it's and they do mention that towards the end of the article where they're like, great movies like North by Northwest were not nominated. And so that's fair, but like I feel like you're kind of cherry picking like, oh, these movies that nobody will remember. Meanwhile, there is the possibility that Sinners is going to win, and that's a movie that is 100% going to be remembered 5 years from now, and people are still going to be talking about 5 years from now, whether it does or does not win. So, it's just a little bit like narrow-minded, kind of, sort of. He does have a couple points, or she, it could be a she, whatever. Could have a point here, but at the same time, it feels like they're cherry picking when there have been many, many movies that have won the Best Picture. There have been movies that have been nominated. There have been movies that have not been nominated that are talked about, not talked about, or somewhere in between. So it's just like that's just how film goes. Like there are the greatest that get remembered, and then there are not. So it's a little bit narrow-minded, but I could see where they're coming from, but it still comes off as very surface level. But I respect the fact that they said they did not they didn't. He's like, I'm not going to watch anything, so I'm not going to vote. I will give them that. At least he's not like, okay, well, I like Delroy Lindo. I'm gonna just vote for him, and then
Well,
I'll
but
vote
that's the thing,
for
though.
this
You
and that.
can't, like, the Academy doesn't allow you to vote for something now that if you haven't seen all the movies in the category. So,
Right.
which was meant to kind of stop. Like, remember there was this whole controversy last year, which generated a lot of bad PR for the Academy. Like, oh, voters are apparently openly admitting that they didn't even see the movie that they voted for. So the Academy was like, oh, well, we better clamp down on this, like almost like Netflix clamping down on password sharing, which I think is resulting in this. I do agree that this person, by the way, is there is some hyperbole being used here. Like, yeah, it's kind of hard to compare. I don't know, Singing in the Rain, sorry, North by Northwest. I can't scream too loud because Georgie gets scared. To Coda. I mean, Coda is a great movie, but Coda is not going to have the cultural zeitgeist value over the next 20 years that clearly Lawrence of Arabia has had
But the
for the
thing
last
is,
50
it's
years.
also hindsight.
So,
We can
yeah,
talk
it
about
is.
Singing in the
You're right.
Rain because it's been
Yeah.
fucking 70 years since that
Yeah.
fucking movie. We can't really talk about Coda. It's been 5 years, 4
If you
years,
gotta-
3 years. I don't even know. I think 5 years. No, I was right. It was 2021.
Mhm.
It's been 5 years, and yeah, maybe a couple people talk about it, but like we don't know what. I mean, if we're still here, 50 years from now, we'll see
Fingers
where it goes from then.
crossed.
Maybe it is. Maybe it will. Coda will be considered a Godfather.
Right.
Maybe it'll be considered a Cimarron. Who fucking knows? Where it's just like the only thing that people remember about it is that it won Best Picture when there are other movies that came out that year that were much better that were deserving of it. So, but we have the power of hindsight. We have the power of saying like, well, Citizen Kane is the greatest movie ever made, while nobody remembers John Ford's How Green Was My Valley. So, it's. I mean, it depends on who you ask. Because some people view Citizen Kane as not the greatest movie ever made. So, it's again, as Anthony was saying, it's all subjective, and so this is all just. And I remember watching a video on this where he's like, essentially the Academy's like, this is a suggestion. It's not the be all and end all of like, this is actually the best picture. It's what a group of 200 people, the majority of it, like 200, 300, 400.
It's not, well, it's not 200. It's actually thousands. It's over 10,000.
Okay, so
but-
it like over
and-
10,000, like the majority of
Yes.
10,000 people. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and I
But,
think
like,
for Brogu
that's
was saying
10,000.
they're not right, but they're not over 80 either. They've diversified quite a bit. The Academy today leans much younger than it used to. There's still a lot of older people in there. They're much more diverse. There's much bigger international block. So absolutely, there's much more diversity than there used to be, which they committed to. Hey, look, Georgie, say hi. Yeah, Georgie's here. But anyway, so the other thing I wanted to kind of quickly mention, and then we can move on. Yesterday in Variety, they were predicting that Sinners will win Best Picture. Pete Hammond's final predictions, he's calling it for one battle after another, even though he still thinks Michael B. Jordan will win for Best Actor. So I thought that was interesting, and because that's just his feel on. That wasn't like he didn't say like if I had a ballot that I would vote for one battle after another, but that's just where he feels the winds are blowing. So again, it goes to show you between even the big outlets that there's disagreement over which one might be the one right now, and in the lead between those two. It's a 2-horse race, but yeah, cat butt might be incoming. But I mean, John, I don't know. Like, you're still thinking one battle after another will win, even though maybe Sinners should win, right? Like, is that where your mind's at? Yeah. Well, I guess we only have to wait for a few days longer to find out, truly. So, yeah. It's not gonna take much.
Obviously,
time.
this is something a little bit more. This is something a little bit simpler. But where the hell can you fucking watch this goddamn thing? If you're actually interested in watching it, where can you find it? Well, how to watch the Oscars online and on TV. Obviously, you're get out of here. Fuck. Obviously they're gonna have like the pre-show and then the actual ceremony, and then with all of this, it's gonna be on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be airing live on ABC, and streaming live on Hulu.
Which by the way, 7 p.m. is earlier than they used to start at 8 at times. So 7 p.m. starting because they give themselves the full 4 hours, and it's still going to be chances are it's going to go past 11 p.m. Eastern time, but that's still something to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah,
the
Hulu
ceremony
and
will also
ABC.
be streaming on Hulu plus live TV. I don't know what the difference is, but
Well,
YouTube
no,
TV,
'cause
AT&T TV, and Fubo TV.
Hulu plus live TV is like YouTube TV, so like it's a version of Hulu which has live channels. But primarily, you don't need to have those things. If you have like Xfinity, I'm sure if you get ABC over the air, even if you have ABC, you'll be able to watch it. And then Hulu, Disney started to put it on Hulu starting last year. And last year there were some like issues with it. Remember, like there was issues with the ceremony. I think it was like people weren't able to like finish watching it, or so there was something wrong with the stream crashing. But yeah, so it's gonna be on Hulu, which is remember in was it 2028 YouTube takes over the Oscars and it's all streaming all the time. So until then, I mean Disney for the last few years has got it. It's gonna be on ABC and it's gonna be on Hulu. So yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 p.m. Pacific in U.S. time. Hey Monique, baked chicken
and then
pies.
if you want to
pea
tune
and
in early, you
asparagus
could see the
risotto.
red carpet show, but I don't think anybody really cares about that. So
I wish I was at trivia night with Monique right now.
but we have.
I would love to
also-
do trivia. I need to just turn my actually, you don't turn your brain off for trivia, but anyway.
We also have an announcement in regards to who's presenting, but Rose Byrne, Delroy Lindo, Wagner Moura to round out show presenters. Byrne has been nominated for If I Legs I Take You, Lindo for Sinners, and Moura for The Secret Agent.
They also have, of course, a bunch of other that got announced before. You got Bill Pullman is going to be presenting. Rose Byrne, you just mentioned Nicole
Jimmy
Kidman.
Kimmel, Ewan McGregor, Pedro Pascal.
Oh, Pedro Daddy's there. Come on.
Channing
Sigourney
Tatum,
Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver. All that shit.
Robert Downey Jr. is going to present as well. I mean, usually like the last year's winners tend to present the awards for this year. Delroy Lindo, of course, has nominated himself, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Monique's always making delicious stuff. Thank you, Monique, for tuning in while you're at trivia night, or maybe it was trivia night. But Honka Honka Caleb, thank you for tuning in as well, just in time. Yeah.
But Matt Berry will serve as the announcer at this year's show, which is great because I love me some Matt Berry. Like, oh god, IT crowd,
dude, can you? Perfect. By the way, Anne Hathaway, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Adrian Brody are all presenting. So, like Adrian Brody had that huge like that moment where they tried to play him off last year. I'm like, and of course Gwyneth Paltrow had that whole. She did remember that whole thing where she did that ad for that company that had that PR scandal with like the CEO with the
CEO with the Coldplay concert.
Yeah. So Priyanka Chopra, Will Arnett. That'll be some interesting combinations.
Priyanka Chopra, Jonas.
Kieran Culkin won last year. He's presenting.
Yeah, Mikey Madison won last year. So yeah. Very nice, I guess. So go watch it if you want, or don't, because most people don't fucking care about these pretentious fucks anymore. So
I mean, John, like, you're being a little like hypocritical. You're doing a watch along this Sunday with your friends.
Oh yeah,
so,
I am. But like,
I mean, come on,
it's for the views. People enjoy it. But I just don't take it seriously anymore because it's just like I know all the movies I hate are probably gonna fucking win. So Frankenstein should sweep, but like obviously people are stupid, so they're not gonna have that happen.
By the way, Hudson Williams is not presenting. I think he's just attending the awards. I don't think he's a presenter. I'm sure they'll include him in somewhere in like a bit or something. That would be interesting. Yeah. But anyway.
But Oscar performers announced Huntrix and Buddy Guy to perform K-pop Demon Hunters and Sinners musical tributes. I think this might be different from... No. So like they're gonna be singing like Golden and like I Lied to You, but they're also gonna be singing like various other songs that were in both films. So
yeah, Conan is hosting.
I think Fiona needs to fucking calm down. Jesus fucking Christ.
It's all good.
But yeah, that's exciting. I mean,
it's no Natu from RRR. It's no. I mean, I'm just Ken.
Be Natu from RRR. Like that's
but
like.
It's also like not like look it's not I'm just Ken. Like you can't beat that either. I mean they do have a Harry Styles song in the new Project Hail Mary, which maybe next year Harry Styles could pop up and do a performance. So yeah.
But.
Yeah, Fiona's rebelling in the chat. Moderator
but-
Fiona, by the way.
Yeah. But very exciting for the people that love them. So very
Yeah.
nice. But speaking of sinners,
I
so
don't think
this
that will
person
happen.
was predicting that Ryan
Yeah.
Coogler will win Best Director. If 16 nominations for Sinners aren't enough, what will be? So just kind of like a outlook on how Sinners stands in this race, essentially.
Yeah, remember, I think it was like yesterday I did this I did some like a quick little search to kind of figure out like the most Oscar wins by a movie. So like here's the thing. Ben-Hur and the 1959 Ben-Hur, Titanic, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. They all are combined, have a combined like a record, well not combined, but like a tied for the record for the most wins, which is 11. Now that being said, Ben-Hur was nominated in 12 of the 15 categories, won 11 of them. Titanic was nominated in 14 of the 17 categories that it was eligible for. It won 11 of them. And also, Return of the King, also won 11, I think, of like 12 or 13 categories that it was nominated in. All of them won Best Picture. So I think the argument here is kind of clear, like, and in pretty much all instances, the director won too. So it's like, if the movie is gonna win Best Picture, then you got to give it Best Director. It's rare that you see that those two categories don't align. Like Christopher Nolan, Sir President, Academy Award winning Christopher Nolan, won Best Director and Best Picture. So for Oppenheimer,
Well, Ben Affleck did not for Argo, so.
But he didn't even get nominated. Remember that was
which is like,
didn't even.
Why the fuck would you not at least nominate him if you're gonna have him win Argo? So like for Best Picture, like the fuck.
So, I just think like, yeah, look, if it's got 16 nominations and it starts to win some of those big 6 awards early in the night, like they'll start with the best supporting ones early, and then as the night goes on, we'll see what happens with like the best actor, best lead actor, lead actress. Dude, like it's because Best Director we'll know before Best Picture. So. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Sinners is gonna like have a landslide. They have as good a chance at equaling or beating that record for 11 wins, which is co-held by Ben-Hur, Titanic, and Return of the King, as any movie has ever had. Certainly, the odds of it doing that are a lot better than Wicked did a couple of years ago. Remember that had like 13 nominations, which I think was tied
like, The
with
Irishman
Dune.
had like 10 nominations and it didn't win a single
Completely got snubbed. But I mean, there's a difference between 10 and 16.
American Hustle was another one that got like 12 nominations, didn't win a single one.
Yeah.
So
also, literally, Sinners, like every other movie I just pointed out, those other 3 that hold the record for 11, the most wins, 11. None of them got nominated in every category they were eligible for. Sinners did. They were eligible in 16 categories. They got nominated in all 16. So I'm just like the same people who vote for the short list to turn into nominees vote for the nominees to turn into winners. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like Sinners has like done. It's not like they pulled a Timothy Chalamet in the past couple of weeks. If anything, they've done really well at the actor awards, which were the last big awards leading into this weekend. So I think Sinners. I think Ryan Coogler is in for one hell of a night, and it's just going to be fantastic stuff. Just imagine, like, he's going to have the Oscar as the producer for Best Picture. He's going to have the Oscar as the Best Director. He's probably going to win the Oscar. He's most likely to win the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. He's going to be doing his Sean Baker impression, or more appropriately, I think, Bong Joon-ho. Although Bong Joon-ho was very surprised. Remember, he ran out of speeches. He was like, "I'm just drinking. Oh shit, I got another one," and he just like kept coming back on. So it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a crowning moment this weekend. I'd be very surprised if Sinners doesn't walk away with at least 11, if not maybe even record-breaking 12 or 13 trophies at this weekend's Oscars.
Yeah, I hope it's at least double digits. That would be nice, but obviously that's only a dream.
Yeah, exactly. Momentum is in its favor right now, so yeah.
But yeah. And then going from Oscars to next year's Golden Globes, Nikki Glazer is coming back for a third time. So Glaze the Glazer, because she was memorable enough to come back for 2027. So that's very exciting for Nikki Glazer. I mean, she's no Ricky Gervais, but like,
Isn't that her third year in a row now? Because she did last year, That's
why it says host for a third time in 2027 in the headline.
Sorry. I'm multitasking, as you can see here.
All right.
Anyway.
Be better at multitasking then.
Okay. Got it.
But yeah, so that's it for
Cringy
the awards.
spots? Oh, sorry. Cringy spots. There'll be definitely be a few, probably, Caleb. I have a feeling Heated Rivalry will have a segment, which, depending on how you feel about Heated Rivalry, might be tons of fun for you. Or cringy.
Yeah, they're just gonna start the ceremony with a hardcore gay sex scene, just right there. Hudson Williams just gonna get plowed by Conan O'Brien, and
Oh, totally. That's exactly how it's gonna start. Dude, you've clearly not seen the show. Watch the show. Come on.
I have
watch
no
the show.
interest. I don't like hockey, and I'm not gay, so and I'm not a woman.
You don't have
who likes
to be. I
gay
watched
guys
the
for
show.
some reason.
I mean, I watched the show. It's about hockey. Anyway,
I don't really like hockey. I don't really give a fuck. The only thing I care about hockey is Lake Placid 1980. That's as far as I care about hockey. So with that, we'll move on to the next.
You're talking about Trevor Noah M2G. He did like 6 years in a row, and he did his last one this year. He's done now. So.
But next up, we have MCU Weekly, which is no longer weekly. And guys, it's the time of the devil. And it is, in fact, Daredevil month. In a couple weeks, we are going to be getting the premiere of Daredevil Season 2. So, very wonderful, very nice. Hopefully, it's a lot better than Season 1. Yeah. But we do have some news in regards to Born Again. Apparently, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 motion poster introduces the symbol of Hell's Kitchen. So here we are. We're going to... Boom. He's a symbol now. Obviously. Amazing. Great. Perfect. It's actually a really cool poster. Like, not going to lie.
It's not quite like giving me Dark Knight Rises vibes, but...
oh, yeah. It's 100% like... like that. I mean, like they already ripped off the Dark Knight for Season 2 of the Netflix show, so it's just like, we have to believe in the justice system again. It's like, this is literally the ending of Dark Knight. What the fuck? Okay, sure, whatever. But very cool motion poster, really nice, really awesome. But not the only thing in regards to Daredevil Born Again. But spoiler, our favorite character confirms they'll return for Season 3. Is it Foggy? But Artie Frushan, I have no fucking clue who that is. They said I'm going to be filming some of Season 3 of Daredevil, which is the Marvel series I've been doing on and off. That'll be coming in the spring. Buck, aka Bullet. I don't know. Fucking okay. Whatever. But yeah, very cool, very nice. They talk about a little bit in regards to Mayor Wilson Fisk and how that folds into everything. So yeah, very exciting.
Best things is the Dark Knight, absolutely. Everything apparently is, Caleb. Everything, including all your puns and jokes. But anyway, look, Season 3, they clearly are following up on the promise that they're going to be doing this yearly. So it makes sense that right as Season 2 is about to drop, they would be going into production on Season 3. That's how TV used to be made, people, before, we got into the streaming era and people decided that wasn't, going to be a thing anymore. I'm glad we're getting back to that, because clearly that was a financially sustainable model. And so, yeah. I'm glad we're going back to that. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very short MCU Weekly, because the next thing we have is actually not Daredevil Born Again related, but an actress named Trinity Bliss responds to rumors that she's in contention to play Jubilee in the MCU reboot. But she starred in Avatar: Fire and Ash, and the up-and-comer was asked about the rumor during an interview. Oh my gosh, when I saw the rumors, I was like, oh, that would be really cool. Like, what do you know that I don't? But I mean, I love the X-Men side of things, so that would be really cool. But I have not been cast as Jubilee, obviously. This is, that would be nice. Outside of Fire and Ash, I'm not really familiar with her work, so it would be nice to see Jubilee. She's kind of more of an underrated character. So it would be cool to see her, but I can't imagine that she would be in the MCU. She's just a character that not a ton of people care about, so obviously we'll see. But yeah, that would be cool. I don't know if you have any thoughts on Trinity Bliss playing Jubilee, or Jubilee being in the MCU at all.
I honestly, yeah, like I think I don't feel one way or another about it. Like it's
I
like
have no
it'll be
strong feelings one way or the other.
no, seriously, like I think should be a good fit. I don't see it happening anytime soon, so I guess I'll just leave it there for now. I'm sure again this would be a biggest role of her career, so I'm sure she wants it
God
to
knows it would be
happen.
fucking bigger than
Um,
Avatar 3. Um, but
I
that's
think it's
neither
more
here
about
nor there.
cultural value, right? We've talked about
Yeah.
Avatar movies don't quite hold that. Like they don't sell merchandise. You don't have theme park rides. Disney tried. Nobody's went to them. So,
But it
yeah.
will win Best Visual Effects at the Oscars. That is 100% a lock in because, that's the only thing they have.
Yes, but because they do genuinely advance the technology in ways that I don't even think a lot of us even know or appreciate truly. So I understand. I think those are deserving wins. But other than that, I think yeah, like you said, cultural value. There's other. It's just
Yeah.
that's why Avatar 4 was in doubt, even though it probably won't be for very much longer. But anyway, yeah.
I mean, James Cameron said pretty much it's going to happen. So,
Right.
but that's a story for another day because now we're getting into shit people actually care about that are actually going to be culturally relevant, which is both Christopher Nolan, Sir President Christopher Nolan,
Sir
and
President, Academy Award winning Christopher Nolan.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller's upcoming sci-fi epic. So apparently, the 6-minute prologue for the Odyssey, which was in front of One Battle After Another and
Hmm.
Sinners, I believe, in IMAX, is now apparently going to be attached to the IMAX of Project Hail Mary. So if you have a 70 millimeter, if you're going to the 70 millimeter IMAX, then good for you. You will be able to see a taste of Sir President Christopher Nolan's upcoming Odyssey adaptation. So
Yeah, let us
that's
know
pretty
how
fucking
Travis
awesome.
Scott looks in IMAX 70 millimeter.
Yeah, I bet he looks like an asshole because he let people die at his concert because he's a douchebag. So,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But that's still cool. Like, I wish I could go see the 70. I mean, if I wasn't so fucking lazy, I'd probably, you know, I'd go and see because I think there's a 70 millimeter in New York, so I would probably be able to go to that one. But it's
Yeah,
again, I would have to
enterprising.
fucking go across
Yeah,
multiple states, so fuck
yeah.
that shit. Uh, but
By the
yeah,
way, wishing the best to enterprising, recovering from the flu, John. You just went through something similar. I can imagine
yeah,
that
just a
that's
head cold,
not,
thank God.
not a lot of
So
fun. I mean, I had the flu a couple of years ago in San Francisco. Fiona will tell you, like we both got stuck in the Bay Area because we couldn't travel with a 104-degree fever. Uh, but John was like, okay, all right, John will watch Christopher Nolan movies eventually. Don't you worry. But I will say this guy, it's really cool to see this because like these 70 millimeter movie prints, there's multiple of those platters. You can't fit an entire movie on one platter like a feature length film. So whoever's loading this in, like they literally do stitch film together. Like it's really cool process that I got to learn about when I did some work with a 70 millimeter IMAX theater a long time ago. So like the first platter, you'll have the prologue reel attached, literally attached, like physically attached to the print of, and then they usually will either have multiple platters looped in, or if you have a mega platter sort of a thing, there is an option for that in the newer 70. I think there's very few of the IMAX 70 millimeter theaters that exist in the first place. So I'd imagine they have the ability to kind of have like the really big platter, but usually when you store them in a couple of smaller platters. So anyway,
but yeah,
it's fun. It's I mean, look, the IMAX is going to promote the shit out of that movie because they've got a lot riding on it. It was shot with brand new IMAX cameras, so the Odyssey, every chance they get, they'll give 6-minute preview. Go see it before the movie you went to
100%.
see. So
But
yeah.
but next up is maybe exciting, maybe not. I mean, I kind of don't really care because the movies are probably gonna be terrible. But Kate Winslet apparently has been cast as the female lead in Lord of the Rings: In Search for More Money. Oh wait, sorry, Lord of the Rings: Hunt for Gollum. So the
The
upcoming
hunt for more
unnecessary
money.
Lord of the Rings film that
Uh,
people may care about. I don't know. Apparently Kate Winslet has been cast, but that's not the only thing. But apparently, Evangeline Lilly, the character that literally everyone fucking forgot about existed in The Hobbit. She's not coming back. Oh my god. Nobody remembers you. So like,
Well, so
I don't know
okay,
why
so
that's
it's a little more detail to this. So Peter Jackson and why am I forgetting it? Andy Serkis, who's directing the movie, the two of them spent the better part of this past year, because Jackson is producing, Serkis is directing and producing. They spent the better part of last year convincing Kate Winslet to sign on to the movie, because it would mean that she would need to basically uproot herself and, you know, maybe even her family, and go live in New Zealand to film this for like 5 months, which would be a better part of the year. So it finally, it looks like, broke through, and Kate Winslet has agreed to do this. Which, look, anything you add Kate Winslet into, I'm at the very least interested, if not like count me in, because she's a great actress, and I don't think she's really ever delivered a bad performance. Even in Avatar, I thought she did a great job with what she was given. And then, you know, Evangeline Lilly, yeah, I mean, she said that she got a chance to visit some of the folks in New Zealand. They're prepping sets and stuff to film Hunt for Gollum, so she's met with the people. There's a good relationship. It just doesn't look like her character will be involved, at least in this first of, I'm sure there's going to be a trilogy of them, or that's the goal. So she said it was gorgeous to reconnect. So, I mean, New Zealand is gorgeous to reconnect with in general. So if you have ever had a chance to connect with it in the first place, if you haven't, go take a trip out to New Zealand. It's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But also Hugo Weaving is not coming back either. So that's also something to say.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
they essentially were kind of saying the same thing here, different website, but like similar idea. So yeah, it's just Kate Winslet is coming in. We don't know who she's playing. Anya Taylor-Joy has been rumored. Leo Woodall is also being considered for Aragorn. So yeah, just big cast. We'll see if it actually amounts to anything. But maybe it's exciting, maybe it's not. But yeah.
Yeah.
But not the only
Yep.
thing. Steven Spielberg apparently named the
course.
world's richest celebrity with
sir.
$7.1 billion in net worth. Now, obviously, anybody who actually knows what net worth means, doesn't mean he has that money fucking sitting in his
the
bank
bank.
account. It's
Right.
just mainly in regards to what he's done and what that equals to worth. So, you know.
Yeah, which
yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say that's well, we'll talk about, like, because you know, it does tell you that he's got a $1.9 billion lead on George Lucas, who's worth $5.2 billion. I'm like, really? That's all you got from the Lucasfilm sale? Like, you haven't been able to multiply that money, George? Like, I guess.
Well,
that's
he gave it all to charity. Like,
Yeah.
he literally, like, it was like $4 billion, and he gave all of it to charity.
Oh, sure. Because, I mean, he still has, obviously, like, again, not in the bank, but, like, he's got the Lucas Museum of, was it Hollywood history or something like that? It's going to be even bigger and better, I think, than the actual Academy Museum. But yeah, I mean, good point from you. As far as Steven Spielberg goes, a lot of his net worth is derived not just from the movies that, you know, that he's made, that he's obviously made a lot of money from, still continues to make money from, but he's of course the founder of Amblin Entertainment. That's his production banner. They primarily worked with Universal Pictures, but they work with a bunch of other studios as well. I think he was also one of the co-founders of DreamWorks back in the day.
Yep.
So his business interests are, you know, very, very hefty, and the dude has got his executive producer credit on a million different things, like, you know, Falling Skies we were talking about yesterday. That was a show that was Spielberg produced, even though he would just walk in to the writer's room at the beginning of a new, you know, season and just like drop I would like for you guys to try this, and then that's all he did. But he would get an executive producer credit because it was his production, you know, banner and stuff. Or, for example, the Transformers movies always got a Spielberg executive, you know, producer credit. So, like, you do get money from that. Like, you don't just get your name put in as an executive producer for free. Sometimes it's because you gave money to the movie and therefore you're expecting a return on your investment. Sometimes it's just because they want to use your name for clout, but you get paid for it. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of his value comes from Amblin, and then DreamWorks, which I think he's still probably the greatest director of all time. But I know, John, that's a long conversation. We should do a tier list about that.
We already did a tier
So
list about the greatest
did
directors
we?
of all time.
Oh, we
So
did. But I remember like people wanted to do a follow up because I feel like wasn't it like greatest directors living today? Because we were like otherwise
no,
we'd be
we did like Sergio Leone and
yeah.
Kira Kurosawa. So
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, then there you go. Maybe we should do a Spielberg movie tier list. We've talked
we
about that
tried,
before.
but
Yeah.
the fucking people didn't vote for it. So
Several times actually. But yeah.
but,
Yeah, I mean he's the Animaniacs, that was a Spielberg thing. I mean the Jurassic Park, every time a Jurassic World movie comes out and makes money, Spielberg gets a check in the mail. So yeah.
but yeah, congrats to Mr. Spielberg. But the next
You know what?
thing
We will
have-
do a Mount Rushmore of movie directors on Monday. I think that's a good idea, John. That would be
Okay.
interesting. Narrow it down to just
Mount
4.
Rushmore, where we can actually do it without having to do a poll where no one's gonna vote for it. Just like, okay, we're gonna do this now because fuck all y'all.
Yeah. I know Movie Spud, you did vote for it, but like, look, we'll put it on the poll again in the future, I'm sure. Yes, I did update the thumbnail. So you guys enjoy the thumbnail for the episode.
I hope it's David Ellison as Supergirl. I don't expect anything less.
You're close, John. You're very, very close. That's the thumbnail.
Oh God. Anyway, let's move on. But Lionsgate signs first look deal with the housemaid star Brandon Sklenar, and his production banner is still in pictures. So congratulations to the future Batman.
Thank you,
Maybe.
Murder 32.
Who knows? That would be nice, but it's unlikely. So I think this is cool. Like, I mean, good on him for expanding his career and all that. So
yeah, that's true. DreamWorks used, you know what, DeAndre Mosley, that's a great point. DreamWorks used to have the SKG subtitle in its logo, which stood for Spielberg, Jeff Katzenberg, David Geffen, the co-founders. But that hasn't been used in a while because they've sort of changed up like how the company is, and also DreamWorks, is advertised, and then how it's formed on the business side. But then DreamWorks Animation is actually now owned by Comcast, so like this under the Comcast, Universal Picture like animation group, including Illumination and everything else. But anyway, but this is great, John. This is good. I mean, Brendan Sklenar is expanding well beyond his just acting credits. He's still got a big, couple of projects over at Paramount, and now with Lionsgate. Good for him. I mean, Lionsgate could use these kind of talent deals in a world where you have like now Paramount, Warner Brothers under the same roof. You've got Disney, which is huge. They got all the Fox stuff, and you got players like Apple and Amazon. I think Lionsgate will find it harder to survive on its own longer we go. So I think having these kind of deals will hopefully help them generate more new franchises, especially somebody who's an up and coming rising star who already has the ability he's shown that he can lead a movie or two, and he's got a couple in the works. So if his star starts to rise, then I mean, look, they got the John Wick franchise, they got the Michael movie, which might be actually more than just a single movie. They got the Hunger Games, so Lionsgate is doing okay, especially because they just did the split with Stars, and I think financially now they're starting to get back on their feet, having now split Stars off as its own thing. So yeah, I mean they did the whole Megalopolis thing. They had a lot of like fumbles in the past 2 years, so they need all the help they can get. So yeah.
So hopefully this is the start of something good. But yeah, good for Brandon Sklenar. Speaking of Batman, though, War Machine star and Batman hopeful, even though he denied, he's like, yeah, I'm never gonna be it. So shut up. Alan Richardson believes audiences are over Marvel type movies, and I kind of agree with that because I think he doesn't mean over Marvel movies, but like that sort of like quippiness, not serious, overly tongue-in-cheek kind of vibe that Marvel movies do give off. So
I think maybe even a certain era
bled into other genres, like the action comedy genre is definitely like very Marvel-esque nowadays. So yeah, it's just I can kind of see that, and I think people are kind of over it a little bit. They're not, and this isn't like an anti-superhero thing. I don't think it is. But I think he's just saying people are kind of over like how that Marvel-esque like vibe has bled into other movies, and people are kind of sick of that.
Yeah. Although I think he's generalizing a little bit too much, because I'd be able to easily point to probably half a dozen, if not more, MCU specific Marvel movies that don't necessarily follow that pattern. But I understand the criticism. Like there's a lot of Marvel, MCU Marvel over the years that's kind of felt like that. It's got that quippy humor, it's that self-awareness. Although when it's done right, it kind of helps to not just ground, but also like Marvel had to kind of take a Norse god and put him in the same frame as a tech tycoon playboy billionaire, as well as like a couple of spies, and then a dude who's like out of time, from World War II. Like, and you have to make it work in live action while also at the same time making it feel like it's the world outside your window, like Stan Lee has always said, or he used to say about the Marvel comics. So it's you need a bit of humor, and you need a bit of like, oh, we're definitely not in not in Kansas, but what's the one that Hawkeye and Black Widow had, like when they first met? What was the thing there? And then when they first go to space, we're definitely not in something anymore, and
Budapest?
It's like Eastern Europe.
I don't know.
Budapest. We're definitely not in Budapest anymore. Like when Captain America goes to space, you need a little bit of that, right? Because it's like when you get thrown into some crazy wild situation, like all of a sudden aliens come to Earth in real life. You're gonna need a little bit of humor to come to acceptance with the idea. Like humor is a way for us to kind of reconcile the
every
extraordinary.
movie under every genre from
No, I
every
get it.
character. It's
I do understand what he's saying. I'm just saying, like, it's a little bit of hyperbolic. I'm sure he's aware.
Yeah,
but,
I agree with Enterprising. We don't know we don't need the fucking Zack Snyder effect either, where everything is grim, dark, nihilistic, and edgy.
Or deconstructionist. We don't need to go the total.
But because it's just like there's a little bit room for everything, and I think like Marvel Comics survived for God knows how many years without it being tongue-in-cheek. And the problem with the Marvelization of it all is that every character felt like Iron Man. It's just like after a while, it's just like, oh, the tongue-in-cheek, overly sarcastic vibe.
You ain't wrong.
It's like, oh, everybody's Iron Man now. And it's like, all right, that's kind of boring. So
it's also like in recent like movies, like they've given like every other character an Iron Man suit or some variation of that, right? Which I understand, like in some ways it's like, okay, so you get a mechanized power suit of some kind. They're all gonna feel like an Iron Man iteration in some way. It's but it's maybe like that. It's kind of a hard. It's like a rock and a hard place situation for me. But anyway, it's still verisimilitude is a great way to describe a figure drawing.
But I will say it is very ironic that he is kind of like talking about like the Marvelization movies, how people are over that and all that, when the name of your movie is literally a Marvel character. So there is a bit of irony there.
Which I will say this though, have you seen the trailer for this movie?
I have not.
So this trailer, like, it popped up randomly, like, in the middle of, like, a TV show that I was watching, and not on streaming. It was, like, I was just had YouTube TV on, and it starts out, like, feeling like, oh, it's like a war movie, and I'm like, oh, Alan Ritchson is in a war movie, and then it literally, everything in the movie feels like every other war movie that you have probably ever seen. Like Warfare, for example. It feels like you're watching Warfare, but, like, they're more in the forest and stuff. But the point is, like, all of a sudden, halfway through the trailer, they come up against like some alien like mechazoid or some shit like that, and it's like, oh wait, oh shit, what? Like, it's like this is a war movie, except it's like alien, but like it's not aliens, but it's like a mechanoid like thing. It's I haven't seen the movie yet, but I understand maybe that since he was probably there's thunderstorms around here too, but like he's been marketing the movie, so
you'll know why.
Yeah. So, but I understand that he's talking about and marketing War Machine, and because of the approach they took to that movie, which felt like it's a movie that's meant to exist in our world, like, except that it just has an alien fighting machine in it. So, I understand where he's coming from. He did say he wanted to play Batman, but he also then said that he talked to James Gunn, and sounds like that won't happen, but he might, be in store for maybe he hinted at more of a bad guy antagonistic character. So maybe Alan Ritchson still has a future in DC, just not playing Batman.
Yeah.
Unless somebody changes their mind, who knows? I mean, maybe Christina Hodson will write a version that
tonally
works
dark to tonally a lot lighter. We have Masters of the Universe to talk about, and is it or Nicholas Gavelzine or whatever the fuck how you pronounce his name? He looks like the Giga Chad meme here on the left. he like the fucking I just need to.
You're not wrong.
The pointed shit.
Yes.
Like he looks like the Giga Chad meme. Anyway, so
there's a
rumor
right, I agree with
that Dolph Lundgren is going to appear in the movie, and this is what his role is going to be. And if you don't want to hear or see it, then spoiler warning now. But who knows? This might not even be true, so we'll see. But in regards to all of this, He-Mania has revealed what they've heard about the legendary actor's role in the upcoming Masters of the Universe. They said Dolph Lundgren's role takes place on Earth, not on Eternia, at a fitness gym, the same gym that Adam works out in. In front of a studio mirror, Dolph gives Adam some life advice, and at the end of their conversation, Dolph parts ways with a good journey. So, I don't know, I think that's kind of nice. Not too distracting, a good cameo, but a nice passing of the torch. It reminds me of in what was it, Little Mermaid, when the original Ariel like gave the Halle Bailey's Ariel the dingle hopper, aka the fork. That was kind of a like literally you're passing on something to the next one. I thought that was very I never saw the movie. I didn't have a ton of interest in it. I don't really like Disney live action remakes, but I all right, that was cute. Like I'll get like something like that. Like that's like a literal, passing of the torch, and that's I kind of like literally giving the main character advice, nod and a wink, and then a bow, and we move on. So, if this is the case, I think that's good. I mean, I wish it wasn't spoiled for people that were excited to see the movie, but maybe people don't care, or maybe it's not even in the movie at all. So who knows?
It's just,
yeah.
I mean, to me, this feels like the right kind of cameo, which kind of again says like we're paying homage to like the fans who are here, but we're also there for the the original like movie. So it's great to see that. I always love seeing like when filmmakers are able to kind of fit in like in the Power Rangers movie, like they had Tommy and why am I forgetting the Pink Ranger's name? The Tommy Oliver, and then somebody will tell me in the chat. Like they had the original green, white, and the Pink Ranger in there, which was great. So yeah, but
nice.
Anywho, yeah. This is good. This is great. It's Dolph, good on Dolph.
But speaking of not good, Mandalorian and Grogu, apparently they face off against the Hutt twins in new extended TV spot. So
it looks good. I like it. I mean, he doesn't have the helmet on for part of it, but like it's fine. I guess we've kind of gone past that anyway. Isn't this the character Jeremy Allen White is playing, one of the Hutt twins? So
that's very cool. I guess.
Was she called Pinky? I don't think she was called Pinky, Brogu. I think the Pink Ranger was not called Pinky. Kimberly. It was Kimberly. Tommy and Kimberly.
That's who I thought it was, but then I'm like, wait, Kimberly. I think that's wrong because there's
no. It was dude. Amy Jo Johnson, one of my first crushes. As I'm sure for a lot of other folks out there too. But yes, that is your brother, Grogu. He's saying hello. I think this movie looks better than what I was expecting, but again, Jon Favreau like has experience doing this kind of thing, and he's also been saying
me, it just kind
they're
of
working with like a movie
Disney
budget
Plus movie that's being released in theaters. That's just.
But I think some of that is more like, but like watch the movie, because I feel like when you see the film, you will, based on the trailer alone, I can see there's a lot of things that they're doing, especially with knowing how some of this stuff is made. Like some of the technology, especially with like what they've been using with the volume and stuff a lot on the TV show, with a bigger budget, you could see while there's still a lot of visuals where you can kind of tell they're using the volume, there's still a bunch of stuff I've seen so far in this that feels like there was more practical elements. And so in terms of scale, I think they'll be able to achieve a lot more. And even like if you use the volume, with more money, you can do more things. You can have a bigger volume stage and stuff. So, Of course, the movie will speak for itself, but I'm excited for it. I think the marketing has taken a turn for the better since what they did at the Super Bowl. So absolutely. If I were to give a ballpark estimate on Mandalorian and Grogu, John, I think we have talked about this before. Is this still a family film? It's a Star Wars movie. It's the first Star Wars movie since the sequel trilogy ended, which is what, like 6-7 years ago now. 7, yeah, it was like 2019 before the pandemic. I think this movie makes anywhere between 600 to 800 million dollars.
Yeah,
it would depend on word of mouth.
I don't think
and
it's gonna
how
make a
big it
billion,
opens.
but definitely at
Yeah.
least at the minimum of 600.
Yeah.
It's we're
Yes. Yep. We'll see. I'm excited. I want to see a Star Wars movie on the big screen again. I'm tired of seeing stuff on TV. As much as I love Mandalorian, as much as I loved Andor, I would have loved to see another like Andor related story on the big screen. Like give him the give. Well, I'm forgetting. Not Tony Scott. His who wrote Andor? Something. It's the other Scott. Never mind. Like give him
Tony
a chance to do a
Gilroy.
movie. Tony Gilroy. Not. I was thinking of the wrong person there. But yeah.
But
Yeah, at least the
with
people
that,
got talking about it with the Super Bowl ad. Yeah, you're right.
that's
Not
good.
wrong. I mean, Liz loved Hoppers. By the way, Liz pointed out that and we should say it because Liz wanted us to tell you guys this. There's a really fun little scene at the end of Hoppers, so definitely stick around for it.
Yep,
And Liz
I'm gonna be seeing
absolutely
it
loved
Friday.
it. So I'm gonna be watching it too. It's gonna probably still be at the top of the box office this upcoming weekend before Project Hail Mary comes out the following weekend. But yeah, I mean, Hoppers is amazing, deserves all the success it's getting. The Protector sucks. Liz went to see it, so you don't have to. And of course, she really, of course, hated The Bride for a lot of reasons. But anyway.
But you
let's
know,
keep going.
we don't hate
Mhm.
a nice, happily married Zendaya because that's our first quick hit. Because
Hey.
allegedly, she stuns. That's what they. She
stuns.
stuns on the red carpet. She stuns for whatever the fuck this is.
Click on the photo.
And apparently she, might have a wedding.
There's a ring.
Oh
It's
my
not just the
God.
accessory you see behind the fashion accessory. There's actually a little ring there. It's I mean, the rumors were that Tom Holland and Zendaya tied the knot in like this private ceremony that nobody really heard about. So people are now speculating that is that proof then? I mean, she's doing another photo shoot here, but yeah, maybe she is married. I mean, Tom Holland is a lucky man, absolutely. I think they're both a lucky couple. I think they're obviously really made for each other in a lot of ways.
It's
so,
funny because I remember somebody was like seeing, was like showing like a bunch of clips of like, or it's like, man, Tom Holland really spoiled his life because he's like, somebody asked, what's your favorite video game franchise? Oh, Uncharted. Bam, is in the Uncharted adaptation. Who's your favorite, superhero, or what would a superhero you'd like to play? Oh man, I'd really love to play Spider-Man. That would be great. Is Spider-Man. And then it was like, who's your biggest Hollywood crush? Oh, Zendaya, definitely. And boom, fucking marries her. It's like Tom Holland literally spoiled his life. So, what's up next for Tom Holland?
I see what you mean by
But
spoiled his life. Okay. I was like, with spoiled his life. I mean, he's like, he's manifesting his life.
Spoils Marvel movies,
Yes.
so he spoiled his
I
life.
see.
So
Yes.
yeah, very
Yeah.
congrats to them.
Yeah.
Very cute, very wonderful, lovely
Yeah.
to see. And yeah,
it's
moving
kinda
on
okay.
to casting news, possibly. Billie Eilish in talks for movie acting debut in adaptation of Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar for director Sarah Polley. Plan B and Studio Canal. Focus features landing hot package. So this is definitely interesting. We'll see if this is any good or not, but I've never read The Bell Jar. I haven't read anything of Sylvia Plath. I mean, pretty sure my sister has read it though. I'm curious to know her thoughts on this. But it could be a really good thing, could be a really bad thing. We'll see if her acting is just as droning and insomnia curing as her fucking voice. So,
Insomnia curing? Okay. I thought the song she did in Barbie was fantastic. Like, What Are We Made of, or What Are We Made For? What Are We Made Of? Like, that song at the end of the movie was fantastic. And she does great work as a singer. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how she does as an actor. I mean, obviously, Ariana Grande has already said she's going to be doing a lot more acting than singing nowadays. So, I guess if you're a fan of her music, then I don't know how much more music Billie Eilish will be putting out. So there we go. Making dreams come true, says Enterprise.
Next up, in terms of upcoming movies, Christopher Landon, who was going to direct Scream 7 before Melissa Barrera got unceremoniously fired, and then, you know, her along with Jenna Ortega, he's like, well, I have no movie anymore, so he left. But he is on the up and up. He is going to be directing a horror film called Final Boarding for Screen Gems, so that's very exciting, because I do like Christopher Landon's work. I liked Happy Death Day, and as well as what was his other, Freaky. Those I liked both those movies. Very good horror comedies, I think. And Drop, I forgot he directed Drop with Brandon Sklenar. There you go.
You saw Drop, right? Did you watch? You went to see it?
Yeah. But it's a supernatural horror film for Sony Pictures Screen Gem based on a short story by Clarence Hammond. Obviously, plot details are not known right now, but Landon will work with both the short story and a previous script adaptation by Javier Gullion, whose involvement we scooped last February. So, yeah, exciting, because I do like Christopher Landon, so I'm glad he's on the up and up, and he's going to be directing some more stuff. So that's...
By the way, Melissa Barrera is one of the saving graces of an otherwise terrible Copenhagen test show on Peacock, where Simu Liu, looks like the most non-charismatic lead, and I can't tell if it's just his acting or... because he's been so much better in other stuff, or just the way it's written. But anyway... Melissa Barrera is one of the people that actually feels like a real character, like who you can run into in the real world. So she deserves to have more success, much like Simu Liu. Better things, like have your agents pick better work for you. So anyway,
yeah,
better projects, I should say.
But next up, Stana Katic and Nancy Travis to lead two.
I think it's Stana Katic. Is it Katic or Katic?
Sorry, two
she was in
from
Castle.
the Headlines Lifetime movies for spring. So Lifetime movies definitely go into the realm of kind of sort of Netflix documentary where they do recreations of stuff that happened in the news, and so apparently these two actresses are going to be doing those movies. So that's cool. We celebrate all types of film here, even stuff like Lifetime, which is kind of the low-hanging fruit, brunt of the joke for a lot of people, but it's still nice to see nice people getting work. So, you know what? Let's keep it civil here.
Dude, I know a lot of people, and I know one of the production companies that makes a lot of Lifetime movies. They're based in Connecticut. So I know a lot of folks who have worked on those movies. But also, I love Stana Katic from Castle. She did that show with Nathan Fillion for years, which I still love. Anytime it comes on, it's on syndication somewhere on cable. I'll always watch it because it's just their chemistry was good. It was, and I mean Nathan Fillion, of course. Anything Nathan Fillion, I'll watch. But yeah,
yeah.
Thank you, Caleb. I knew the thumbnail would be a hit today. I just had to go there, so appreciate the compliments.
Next up, Baywatch reboot casts Pretty Little Liars star Shay Mitchell as series regular. We recently got a different casting a couple days ago.
There was a supermodel yesterday or 2 days ago we talked about. Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
Don't worry, bro. We moved on.
But Baywatch, after the disastrous movie adaptation, they're going back to series. So for any Baywatch fans, maybe this is good news for you. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but
I'm looking forward to it. Also, great LGBTQ representation, and she was one of the first actresses, back 10 odd so years ago. I mean, before even the okay, there's the cat. When Pretty Little Liars was still on the air. I mean, she's been a great representative of the community, so it's good to see. This is our biggest project since Pretty Little Liars. Then they do I think they did a Netflix it was HBO Max spinoff, or was it Disney? I forget. They had another sequel series to Pretty Little Liars, but hey, right, dude. No worries, better late than never. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this turns into. I don't know what her role really is going to be. I'm guessing she's going to be a lifeguard. Considering it's Baywatch.
I mean, yeah, one would hope, I guess, but yeah, very, very nice. I mean, what else would you be doing? Come on now.
I don't know. It's fair.
Cool to see. Juliette Binoche, your boy Timmy, is still getting dunked on. Juliette Binoche weighs in on Timothée Chalamet ballet comments. I thought cinema was a dying art. Yeah, kind of is. So,
ouch.
So it's
you,
like,
you tell
Huntai, you know, you do realize that the industry you're in has been losing billions since, you know, COVID. So it's like, who's really dying over here, buddy?
I mean, I guess you could say, like, you're losing billions means you have billions to lose, and Broadway and well, ballet and opera don't even have the billions to lose. So come back to the comeback. I don't know, you know. But anyway,
in the video she gets coming our back, I think. Anyway, but next up,
what?
Animal Kingdom boss Eliza Clark sets Hulu crime drama pilot Durango about runaway lovers. Definitely an intriguing little plot. I've heard Animal Kingdom is a very good show.
It was on TNT, right? That's the one. Yeah,
I think so. I think my parents
used to be.
I think they liked it.
It's. I watched a couple of seasons worth. It had that chick from one of the Ocean's movies. And then it had like one of the younger. It was a TNT show. It was on cable. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. Well, like, not the the show ended. TNT still exists, but yes, Eliza Clark. So.
But yeah. Next up, oh boy, Rick and Morty season 9 premiere date and first look revealed. No AI slop, just grade A organic slop. Slop is right, because this show has been fucking garbage since like season 2. So, you know, it's yeah, it's still going. It's like, it's kind of just reached Simpson and Family Guy levels of just take it round back, tell them about the rabbits, and just fucking shoot it in the head at this point, because this is just ridiculous.
Whoa.
Tell me about the rabbits, Morty. Tell me about the rabbits. Anyway, but yeah, garbage show. I don't know why it's still on. I mean, after you know, Justin Roiland is a piece of shit, after Dan Harmon was a piece of shit, both of them got fired. It's like, why? Who cares? Anyway. I would say, who cares about ballet? More like, who cares about fucking Rick and Morty? Pickle Rick, Szechuan sauce. Anyway, speaking of garbage, Scream 7 star Celeste O'Connor shares bloody behind-the-scenes photos to mark box office milestone. So that's cool. Nice to see. Nice to see McKenna Grace and Celeste O'Connor keep on keeping on with in being garbage. So, you know,
and there's actually a few more photos. Like, they show some of the hair and makeup from the movie.
Yeah, which is like, oof. It's like, both of you need to get better agents. First Madam Web, and then regretting you, and then this. It's like, oof.
This movie now, by the way, say what you will, Scream 7 has now crossed 150 million, and it's well on its way to becoming the highest. I know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for the box office, it's going to become the highest grossing Scream movie ever, once it crosses 173 million, which already in 2 weeks has got to 150, so it's well on its way to doing that. So I think, yeah, I mean, like it or hate it, Scream 7 is a box office success for the franchise, at least. So yeah,
gotcha. Anyway, Tommy Lee Jones cast in FX's The Lowdown, which is that Ethan Hawke show, for season 2, his first scripted TV role in nearly 4 decades. So your boy, who has been a movie man for God knows how long, is going back to TV after a time period that is older than the both of us combined, probably. So,
I mean, you know. Look, it's even time. Like, how long could he hold out for, right? Like, he's held out longer than pretty much every other actor, even of his generation. Like, Harrison Ford's been doing TV now for a number of years and stuff. So, Ethan Hawke, The Lowdown on FX, is one of the better shows running right now, so I'm glad that he'll be joining it. Tommy Lee Jones, man, like, I feel like we need to see more of Tommy Lee Jones while he's still around, because I miss him. He doesn't do a lot. He's very picky. He's very specific about his projects, but this is a good one to choose if you're gonna do a project like something.
I've heard this is
TV.
A good show. Add it to the list.
I think this was. I don't know if it won any Emmys or not, but like I think it definitely was nominated at the Golden Globes.
I've heard it's good.
So yeah.
So yeah, awesome, great. Hope to see it. then our final quick hit is apparently your boy Will Ferrell is remaking Talladega Nights, but this time as a golf comedy instead of a NASCAR comedy. So, because that's the vibe I got from this teaser. It's like, this just feels like Talladega Nights, but instead of NASCAR, it's golf. Which sure, not my thing.
If that was your elevator pitch, I would totally be like, count me in, like take my money right now, because I would watch it.
You know. I mean, I know maybe Christopher Nolan will love this because he's a big Talladega Nights fan. But
yeah, he is.
But that's not my thing. But I hope people enjoy it. But I can guarantee you, I will bet all of the money in my bank account that there is 100% going to be a dated Hawk Tuah joke in this movie. I will guarantee you there is going to be a Hawk Tuah joke, even though that has not been a thing in like a fucking year and a half.
Yeah.
So I guarantee it, 100% gonna be a Hawk Tuah joke in this movie. So yeah. But yeah, I hope people enjoy this. I like Will Ferrell. He can be funny, but most of his comedies don't really do much for me, but I hope people enjoy it. So, but that's it.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks fun. So,
but that's it for the quick hits. We're done with the news portion. Now we're gonna move on to DCU Daily. So get pumped for that. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that stuff, because now we are going to be #blessed from the beginning. So stay tuned.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka.
Hey everyone, welcome to DCU Daily. Here we are. We have a couple things to talk about. We have some quick hits. We have a bit of Supergirl news, and we have a bit of David Ellison news. Not merger stuff, just him being a fan. Even though in our very terribly edited photoshopped thumbnail he is seeing himself as Superman. He's more
terribly edited. What?
He's more like
what are you talking about?
Like Lex Luthor in this case, but
don't blame the content on the artist. Like, come on, like I think it's a really good Photoshop. I think it's very convincing. Considering I only had 10 minutes to do it.
Can we trust him? Anyway,
can we trust him? I don't know. I can't. You know what I did while we were waiting on the DCU Daily intro? Like I heard Batman. It was like when I get nuts, and so I went and got nuts, as in peanut.
I don't have any. Actually, I do have some Biscoff cookies, but I'm not really in the mood for those. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, those aren't nuts though. You know, there's nuts in the hair.
They're crazy though. They're nuts. No. Anyway, okay. But let's go on to our first bit of news, which is yesterday's news. But we were a little bit late to the draw here, but we knew that yesterday.
We're not late. No, Jason Momoa is late. We talked about it yesterday.
I thought he posted it yesterday.
No, he posted it today. Okay. I checked. He didn't. He posted it today.
So apparently, your boy, now just getting to the fact that Lobo celebrated an anniversary yesterday. That yesterday was when he was introduced in a comic, and obviously, Jason Momoa is late to the draw. I apologize. He was the one who was like, hey, can't wait to play him in Supergirl. So he says, what an honor to be finally playing the main man. Aloha, Jay. Yeah. So
the dude is a busy, like, at least he runs his own Instagram. He's off, he's a busy actor.
He's off, doing living movies, life. Doing shows, getting all sites of all types of Putinanny and all that shit. So he's a busy man.
What?
He's a busy
what?
Man.
He's
not married anymore, so he's
Isn't he dating Audrey Arjona right now? Like he's dating potentially
Maybe,
Wonder Woman.
I don't know, but
I thought that was the thing. I thought that was like a public.
Puss and the tide is high, so that's Jason Momoa's life in a nutshell. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yes, he was a little bit late to the draw, but that's okay. We still love him, and we still can't wait to see his rendition of Lobo in Supergirl. So I forgot to change the banner, but yes, Parrots, Ducks, Pelicans of the DCU news. So this is indeed the quick hits. So let's be quick. Next up, now we have something even better. That's dogs. Dogs. Who doesn't love a good dog? I mean, I don't mind cats, but I'm a dog guy. And with that,
I mean, I love both. I love both.
We love crypto in this house.
I do wonder though.
Crypto. So
like, what is crypto up to right now? Because James Gunn said that they will probably get more of those kind of like DC animal like animated shows, like the crypto shorts that they were putting out. Like that was the other day. I think you talked about it. It was a quick hit. And James Gunn was like, "Yeah, we're definitely working on more stuff like that." So I wonder if crypto will be involved in more of those things, or if he's just going to continue to feature in like the movies, especially like the live action. But when I say live action, I mean like the 3D CGI version, not just the animated version. So. Yeah, dude, Jason Momoa in a kindergarten cop movie would be amazing, but only if he does the Arnold accent. Like he's got to be like, who is your daddy and what does he do? Like he needs to do that. Like I don't think he's gonna do that. He's gonna do a completely different version of it, and then it's just gonna ruin it in my mind. So anyway, but yeah, doggy, cute doggy. Yeah, Crypto's always the star of the show. I'm sure he's gonna steal the movie. I mean, even if people don't like Supergirl, they're gonna love Crypto. So. Especially baby Crypto or puppy Crypto as they're calling him, he's gonna move some crazy amounts of merch. Don't you worry, everybody. Don't you worry.
But yeah. But next up we have Lois Lane being awesome. Because this version, I will say, like, ignoring the jokes.
This threw me off a little bit, like at first, because I haven't seen the show.
But a lot of people really enjoyed this version of Lois Lane. Not for get your head out of the fucking gutter. Let's keep it for the children, guys. But a lot of people like her rendition in My Adventures with Superman. I know a lot of people were rickety on it at first, but then ultimately really liked it as time went on. So yeah, I mean, I've heard the show is good. It's just not my type of vibe. I'm not an anime guy, and I don't really want to watch a show that's essentially diet anime but with Superman. So it's just not my type of thing. So yeah, have you seen My Adventures with Superman?
I've only seen a couple of episodes, but I did not see this episode at all, so I was kind of thrown off. I'm like, oh, I see what's going on. She's definitely making Superman or Clark blush, which is, he's like, take it off, and then she takes her jacket off. He's like, oh, I got a sewing kit to sew up his torn blazer, which is a very Clark problem to have. But the show is good. I mean, they're doing more My Adventures with shows like the Green Lantern.
Yeah, My Adventures with Green Lantern, which I'm kind of iffy about because they completely changed Jessica Cruz's backstory, and they're also making Green Lanterns not space cops but warrior monks. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna totally write it off yet, but I don't like that. So I'll just wait, okay? Maybe if Green Lantern is good enough, I'll go back and watch Superman, but I'm iffy on that.
By the way, Movie Spud loves it, so or enjoyed it at least. That's good. Okay, and Caleb also likes it a lot. There you go. Cool. But what the hell? They just hate Green Lanterns. I know. It seems like of late we're getting everything but the comic accurate iteration of Green Lantern. But I guess we have never really gotten it in the first place. So
I mean, we kind of got it with the Ryan Reynolds movie. But
in some ways, like I was watching a clip of him like recite the oath, the Lantern's oath the other day, and I'm like, the concept is great. His delivery was not good. And that's usually, I mean, Ryan Reynolds is a good enough of an actor that I think I blame it on the direction in that movie. I feel like the direction, the script, ultimately, and again, that kind of ties into how the visuals were executed. I don't think Ryan Reynolds was the problem in the Lanterns film, like the Green Lantern film. So Hopefully we'll build towards better. Well, again, Lanterns could be the show, the show that really starts it off for us, but early signs are not looking all too convincing. So yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. These are DC quick.
Yes.
So.
But now we're gonna be talking about a based comic book writer named Tom, not that other fucking guy that we don't allow in this goddamn house.
Isn't Tom King in one? Isn't he right there on the right side? That's okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
We are talking about Tom Taylor. We're focusing on Tom Taylor. Fuck Tom King. Focusing on Tom Taylor is based. Tom Taylor's awesome. Fuck the other guy. I know he's here, but like frankly, he can go fuck himself. But Tom Taylor, we'll just focus on him right here. Him with puppies. Because who doesn't want to see a very good comic writer with puppies? Not the other guy, but Tom Taylor. Lovely to see. Not the other
But isn't
guy.
this great? These are the guide dogs of DC. And the names are Kara, Lobo, and Clark, right? Isn't that? Yeah, Clark and Kara and Lobo. Those are the best, the cutest names for the cutest doggies. And I love how he like kind of like there's a bit of a joke in what he wrote. So if you read it, it says, go back to the post. He said, pictured Clark and Kara and Lobo and Tom King, not a puppy.
Yeah, he's not cute or awesome enough to be a puppy. So
I thought you'd enjoy that part of it, but anyway.
Fucking can go fuck himself. Yeah, Tale of Two.
I mean, he looks happy.
More like the quality of man. One is good, one is not. So
I mean, I'd love to have Kara, Lobo, and Clark running around my apartment if I could. So like they look all super cute and they're guide dogs.
I actually used to have those shoes, those Asics. Those are good shoes. I think I might still. I think those are the ones I might. No, I have Sauconys now. So I used to have those Asics. Those were good shoes. Anyway, Tom Taylor has good taste in shoes, guys. But then we get to our boy. Speaking of Green Lanterns, that'll probably the only green the one that's like
thumbnail
the
fodder.
Atlas of Green Lantern that's holding up the actual good comic book shit. And this is, Guy Gardner, and honestly, it's a fucking great poster. Lovely to see.
I love it. I don't know why this was never used. This looks fantastic.
Yeah. Maybe because it's like, he had such a small role that it's like, what's the point? But I don't know.
I mean, also, they gave everybody that same poster. It was like the Barbie thing. Remember? Like, everybody had their character poster. It just looked the same. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
this feels more lantern-y.
This is awesome. But that's it for quick hits. Now we're going to get into... Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. Do we even have it anymore? I don't think we have it anymore.
What are we talking about? Supergirl?
We're going into Supergirl stuff because we're talking about how it's hashtag cursed.
Yeah.
It's not actually cursed. It's just like, it's just changes, and that's it. But Supergirl is now on its third composer just 3 months before it's released. With this, apparently, the first...
we started off with
Ramin Djawadi, who did Game of Thrones and
the first Iron Man movie,
Doctor Who, and all that. And then they were replaced by Tom Holkenborg, who is Junkie XL, who did a lot of the Zack Snyder movies. But now he's being replaced by a far less prolific composer named Claudia Sarn, who did movies like The Book of Eli and End of Watch. So who's not as familiar, not as famous, but it seems like there's just a struggle,
lower profile,
just trying to really get that right. And honestly, maybe this is for the best. Like, if it's a better,
I don't know if it is. Hey, look,
I'm trying to be optimistic, Dan.
I know you're trying to be optimistic, but like changing your composer in March when the movie comes out in June is not a good sign, especially not when it's the third composer to come onto the project. Because you went from Ramin Djawadi, like you said, he's got an impressive resume, to Tom Holkenborg, aka Junkie XL, who's also got an impressive resume, to now, no offense to Claudia Sarna, but like it's. The Book of Eli, while I like the movie, it's certainly a long time ago, and I'm sure she's done other stuff beyond just The Book of Eli and End of Watch, but clearly, and the biggest thing that bothers me is all three of those people have very different like sounds, like very different signature sounds in terms of the what they're known for. I mean, obviously, like, you know, Hans Zimmer and Michael Giacchino and why am I forgetting right now? John Williams, and who did the original Batman movie? Why am I forgetting right now? The not Batman 89. Why am I forgetting? Danny Elfman. Like, those are some of like the OG all-time greats that we know they can kind of and even today, like Ludwig Göransson, like these you know, composers, we know they can switch gears and do different things. But like the thing about Ramin Djawadi and Junkie XL and Claudia Sarna, like they're generally known for a particular kind of sound, and all of them like that signature sound is different. Thank you, yeah, Danny Elfman. But yeah, it's kind of concerning to me because remember they brought in Danny Elfman. Speaking of, for the theatrical version of Justice League, literally about 3 months before the movie release, when they were reshooting the whole thing, you know, before when Zack Snyder got let go.
Supergirl's not being like reshot.
No, I know, so. But like it's kind of worrying that you're bringing in a third composer, because like, it's speculation because we don't know the official reasoning. Like, this is not something that James Gunn told us. This is not a press release. They're not giving you a reason. I mean, usually, like for something like a film composer, like, most people don't care. Honestly, most of us are going to go to see the movie and then not even know who would compose the movie unless it was a John Williams or a Hans Zimmer. But yeah, I don't it's a sign of concern when somebody as significant is being swapped out, because right now I would imagine in the post-production process, this is the time around which you're getting closer to the final cut. So and you know, in an ideal scenario, like James Gunn likes to do with his composer that, you know, that he worked on with Superman as well, and several of the directors, they'll have some themes that they will even work with on the set, or they'll be working on them while they're shooting the movie, even if they're not playing it on set, which, you know, which is not a tradition per se, but like you would be working on themes and pieces before you have the final, like the picture lock, and then you actually, you know, do the orchestral, you know, recordings and all that stuff. So that, I'm just saying, like, it's March, we're about 3 months away. It's not like they need to, like, you know, like nowadays the movies don't have to be printed and like the reels have to be sent out and stuff like that. So all the movie theaters generally just download it off a server from the studio, so they can go all the way till the release date with you know, getting this, you know, done and exported and everything. But it's just concerning to me, you know. Like I said, it's like we're now about 3 months away from the movie coming out, and this is the third composer they're on. Each of those composers sound very different, have done very different projects, different profiles. Maybe to me, like, I guess the question that I would ask you, John, is, does it tell you something about maybe they're having trouble getting this movie's tone down? Because again, those three composers do very different things. Not to mention, Junkie XL didn't even last like a month. I feel like it wasn't even a month ago that we talked about that he signed on for this. So like, what the hell happened? Like, the last time we saw something like this happen, I mean, it was I'm gonna mention the example of Blade, where they switched directors 5 times before the movie kind of got shelved. Not the same thing. You know, it's not a director, it's a film composer, but still, it doesn't reflect well, right? Like, do you think they're having trouble figuring this movie out a little bit in post-production?
Maybe because maybe they see the outcry of people being like, oh, it's too much like Guardians, and like they're trying to, and like Guardians is a very heavily like music heavy movie, although that's more needle drops than score. But maybe like the two composers they got were like more in that like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of vibe that they're trying to maybe steer away from with this one, because, you know, they want to keep it like as its own thing, and like it's, and they see like, oh, it's Guardians, and so they want to kind of avoid that, so they're gonna be, you know, going with a composer who's not gonna go with that vibe. So that's my best guess.
Yeah, and then you guys are, I mean, I think, who was it? MTG was pointing out, like, James Gunn Superman switched out their editor. So yeah, so they had an editor change, but I don't think it was a similar time frame. They had more months. They had, I think, 5 or 6 months before release date when they made that change. And switching an editor is different from switching a film composer, because most editors there are there to like work on the director's vision or whoever's getting the final cut, right? So with a film composer, I'd imagine if you hired somebody, then you were on the same page with them for the sound of the film, and then I guess it just didn't work out, so then you change tack completely, because it's also like how much different do you need something to be that Junkie XL can no longer do it for you, or like Ramin Javadi is no longer the right fit, that you have to switch to Claudia Sarneb. Like it's it's concerning, combined with like the reactions to the first trailer. Now I'm actually just way more interested in seeing what that next trailer looks like, and actually now I think I would want to hear some of the score. I want to hear Supergirl's theme. I want to hear some, signature, piece from the soundtrack in one of the trailers that we're going to see before the release of the movie. Chances are we're not going to. They're probably just going to use more songs, whether they're in the movie or not. But it is worrying. Anytime you see something like this, it's not the end of the world, but we talk about it all the time. Sound does more than half the work in any visual medium. Like, yeah, we would all love to watch a visually stunning movie, but if it sounds terrible, or the soundtrack, I mean, plenty of superhero movies have had mediocre to, completely unmemorable soundtracks, and that's fine. But, and we don't care necessarily. Like Marvel movies are a great example. Most of them don't have memorable soundtracks. But you want to, like, when it hits, like Fantastic Four really did a great job. Like, it's an amazing soundtrack.
They got Michael motherfucking Giacchino.
I know, but the point I'm trying to make is that it matters, right? Like, the film composer matters, because they will have a big, footprint on the movie. You will feel the difference between a good film composer and a bad one. So yeah, I mean, Enterprising saying so far the current test screenings lean more positive, so they have to be struggling to find the right music, which does sound like tone issues and not a narrative issue. Well, again, take it with a grain of salt, because DC doesn't really do these kind of like public test screenings, so at best it might be second, third hand reporting. But if they are doing screenings, then good for. I mean, it's positive. Reactions are always a good thing, but they did also do that with Superman, but also I don't actually did they do that? Wait, I think it was a collaboration, wasn't it? It wasn't like one left. It was, they brought in a second person to do the soundtrack for Superman in addition to the first one that was attached. So they ended up having two composers, which, I mean, in Batman v Superman, Hans Zimmer worked with Junkie XL, so they were like a collaboration. That doesn't always work. Also, Superman wasn't the best soundtrack of the year last year. I think like F1 beat it by far. Sinners had a better one. Of course, Ludwig Göransson, Hans Zimmer, and then Michael Giacchino's Fantastic Four. So like, there's levels to this game. But yeah, I'm just a little concerned, John. That's all. And I want to point that out.
You haven't read. I mean, I've been concerned because it's based on the Tom King stories.
Yeah.
But that,
you guys let us know in the comments. What do you think? Is Supergirl cursed? Are we exaggerating? So,
but we still have one more thing to talk about today, and that's in regards to our favorite new owner for Warner Brothers. And that, I didn't realize you made a graphic for that. Where did you put that? Okay,
it's right there. We got it.
Anyway, but your boy David Ellison saying apparently he loves DC. Paramount CEO David Ellison is a big fan of DC and mentioned it twice. 2 whole times. That's crazy. In his Warner Brothers Discovery meeting today, which was yesterday.
This was yesterday.
He name-checked DC twice. He loves DC.
Yes, he did. And this is like an account from somebody who anonymously talked about, like, they were at the meeting. So there was
there was a couple insiders that we talked about who were who were talking about
they were probably one of the executives or leaders like maybe SVPs, AVPs, or something like that. Like, they're not necessarily like one of the heads. I'm not saying Casey Bloys gave this quote to Deadline, but chances are they were probably one of the senior leadership folks in that meeting. But they also, actually, if you scroll down, there's more to it than that in terms of what that person said. I agree with you, Movie Spud, on that, by the way. I think Hans Zimmer's, for me, was the favorite. But anyway, so this person said the meeting felt perfunctory, full of platitudes, and not much more. He really didn't read the room and sidestepped any real talk of layoffs.
Yep.
Although we know
yesterday.
Yes, we did. And although we do know that David Ellison kind of emphasized that he wants to run the two studios separately, like he doesn't want to sell the studio lots, although he will still probably, we have heard this report that which not from David Ellison himself, but other insiders close to him, that they might try to like lower the footprint of the Paramount lot at the very least. Maybe like, you know, lease off some parts of it for other commercial
subletting,
uses.
leasing. You did mention that,
Yeah, but like apparently this person said he leaned into theatrical more than when Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos spoke to the executives back in December. So I guess that's a good thing for theatrical movies. And he name checked DC twice. He loves DC. Okay, but this is one person saying it. So I'm not saying this person has any, you know, reason to lie. But yeah, I mean, Justin Geeky Guy, thank you for the super chat. If David Ellison does love DC, and if DC is doing so well as it is under James Gunn and Peter Safran so far, then as an executive, like, you want to empower people in the right positions to do their job and do their jobs well, and then let them to it, you know, leave them to it. So to that end, I think if David Ellison loves DC truly, then I don't think James Gunn and Peter Safran have anything to worry about. Speaking of which, at the very minimum, I think we are aware that Peter Safran was in the meeting. Maybe like they had James Gunn like over Zoom or something because he's in Atlanta, you know, working on prepping Man of Tomorrow for production soon. They're getting ready to film that in a couple of months. So either that or maybe he didn't attend the meeting, but Peter Safran was definitely there. So I'm sure like they kind of got to talking eventually, but the point here is, John, I don't know what you think about this. I'd love to hear from you, but what do you think it means that David Ellison loves DC? I have one concern I'll get to later, but I want to hear from you, like what your thoughts are about this.
I don't really like, I feel like this is just like kind of like a, how do you do fellow kids kind of vibe. Or just like, yes, I do love the Supermans and the Batmans, and I am willing to do the things to keep them. So, you know, it's like he could have said, okay, so he does say he loves DC. Okay, cool. And he name checked DC twice. He's like, these DC movies are pretty good. I like DC. And then like fucking moved on. Like, we don't know the extent of what he actually said. And that could mean anything. Maybe he loves DC. Maybe he fucking grew up with Superman comics, but he fucking hated the movie. I don't know. But like, it just like, it doesn't, you know, matter that like, you know, I think, I don't know. It feels like a bit like, I don't know, surface level to me. Like, it just like, okay,
well, yeah, I think
maybe
there's a
he's
nature
like
of
trying to like put like trying to say a couple right things in regards to that, but like, but yeah, it doesn't mean a whole lot to me because, you know, it is another douchebag millionaire that's probably lying through his teeth about a lot of stuff. So,
well, okay, I'm not here to like talk about the man's character per se. I'm just gonna go off again limited evidence so far.
Damn, imagine being a billionaire and you can't afford eyebrows. That's crazy.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Maybe that's just and whatever. I'm not. Now we're just attacking the person, the guy's appearance and stuff. Like, it's what I'm trying to say is, and I'm not trying to defend David Ellison. I'm not trying to besmirch him or anything like that. Either way, anyway, no how. But this is like this is a third party source, right? Like, or the third person source. We're not really getting it from the mouth of David Ellison what he actually said. We don't have the transcript from the meeting. It wasn't publicly made available. It wasn't a public meeting. But the fact that somebody out who was in the meeting said that, oh, he loves DC, he name checked it twice. I mean, name checking something twice doesn't necessarily mean you love it. He also did say, like, you know, Warner Brothers, you guys had two of the best movies of the year. I'm not going to name which ones. So I mean, he could have, maybe one of those for him was Superman. Maybe he was talking about Sinners and One Battle After Another, which is probably more likely to be true. But I don't think this person would have any motivation necessarily to lie, especially because this is a source that the trades were able to verify and work with, so they trust them. And then, you know, the Deadline, which is where the quote originally comes from, their reputable outlet, they wouldn't publish something that in their, you know, eyes was not reliable. So I would trust Deadline if this was, you know, because it's coming from them. If this was coming from like Cosmic Circus News or whatever like that, you know, or the World of Real, then I'd be more worried about things. But it's very limited evidence because it's not coming from David Ellison. It's coming from somebody who was at the meeting, and they're only just paraphrasing what David Ellison probably actually said. That all being said, though, I did want to say the one concern I have about this, like you mentioned, I mean, we don't know what he loves about DC. He could love, there's many, you know, with comics, it's so diverse. Maybe the DC that he loves was the DCEU. Maybe the DC that he loves was Superman Returns. Maybe he really loved Brendan Routh's Superman. Or maybe, he loves Smallville. Maybe he loves the DCU. Maybe he loves the Batman and what Matt Reeves is doing. Maybe he loves all of it or none of it, or something different entirely. So that aside, I think from a practical standpoint, in terms of James Gunn, Peter Safran, and what they're doing in that regime, and will they be still around? Will they get a renewal on their contracts once their current deal runs out, which already got extended into next year? But that means you've got to start negotiating sooner than later, right? So, as far as that goes, for me, what would cause problems, because as of right now, I would imagine that Peter Safran and James Gunn would be sticking around for at least a bumper deal of another 2 years.
Well, until at least until their contracts, the extension,
right, which is still, it was like 2027 something.
Yeah, spring
sometime.
2027, I believe.
Which is kind of lines up with Casey Bloys at HBO. What I'm trying to say is, all three of these executives, including Casey Bloys for the moment, will include him in this, roll him up into the same bucket. They all have projects ongoing that they have started to work on, have been working on, which will still be in progress when their deals expire. And while with Peter Safran and with Casey Bloys to a lesser degree, you can say, okay, we can replace them, or choose not to renew their deal, or they can walk away and somebody else can come in and do the business of producing and production that they handle. On the creative side, you can't just simply fire James Gunn or let him go while he's in post-production on Man of Tomorrow, right? But two things can be true. He could still walk away as the co-CEO, or say, I'm leaving at the end of the year, I'm going to finish working on Man of Tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. But that, I would imagine David Ellison knows, or he's at least smart enough to know in his leadership, that would be a PR disaster for them, especially at a time when they would have probably just closed the deal with Warner Brothers officially. So what I'm trying to say is, hey, this is my prediction based on what I'm thinking and what I know about this situation, but I'm not somebody who's in the know. So don't take this as, gospel. But what I'm thinking is David Ellison and his leadership team will probably extend Casey Bloys, James Gunn, Peter Safran for at least maybe a bumper deal, 1 or 2 years. And that way they can be okay, so this is, you guys stick around, keep doing what you're doing. We're going to figure out the rest of the business. Don't worry. We're going to let HBO be its thing. We're going to let DC Studio do what it's been doing. And business as usual for the most part. Stick around for a couple of years. And then while you do, now let's work on a more long-term vision and whatever the long-term deal, 3-5 year contract might look like down the road. And then that will also allow, if Paramount leadership and David Ellison decide if they don't worry, M2G, I don't think David Ellison still has any acting dreams. He tried that before he became a movie producer, but if they decide not to give them that 3 or 5 year deal when the bumper deal runs out, then in a couple of years' time, let's say 2028, 2029, Harry Potter the TV show would have already been running long enough that, maybe if Casey Bloys is out the door, somebody else can come in and pick up the pieces. You don't need Casey Bloys necessarily there at the time. So there will be an out for the leadership. Maybe by that time, Man of Tomorrow would have come out. Most of the projects they've currently got announced at DC, especially the ones that James Gunn's personally involved in on a creative level, would have been released or would have mostly been done in production. So I think that's maybe the path we are on. I could be completely wrong. They might just give him a 5 year deal by this time next year, and then that will just get locked in. The only other thing that I'm concerned about is, which would be probably in my mind the biggest reason why James Gunn and Peter Safran might walk away from the job, is if David Ellison, because he supposedly loves DC, which again, we have no reason not to believe this person that Deadline quoted, but if he does love DC, maybe he wants to micromanage it. Maybe what he has done so far, he's actually already done this with Paramount in the past year that he has been an owner of that company. He kind of went over the head of one of their studio divisions to greenlight a project, and bring in somebody from the outside and said, yeah, go ahead, do this. Here's some money to do this project, this movie. I forget the exact. I don't know. I don't think it was the Brett Rand or the Rush Hour project, but it was a different thing. But he basically went over the head of one of his direct reports, whose job it would have been to say yay or nay to this project. So it's that whole idea of if David Ellison decides, I'm going to give Zack Snyder a chance to finish his Justice League trilogy, but I'm not going to consult James Gunn and Peter Safran about it. If something to that effect happens, now that's an extreme scenario, so it's very unlikely that will ever happen. But even something to that effect happens, even if, like, I don't know, like tomorrow Ryan Coogler says I want to do a DCU movie or DC movie, I want to do, I don't know, Black Lightning the film, and he goes directly to David Ellison. Unlikely to be the case, and David Ellison just says, "You're greenlit." And all of a sudden, James Gunn and Peter Safran find out when the press release hits, the media. Those are the kind of things that there's one or two examples of it in the past year with Skydance ownership of Paramount, that if they do that with James Gunn and Peter Safran at DC Studios, then I think James Gunn and Peter Safran are more likely to leave. But outside of that happening, which I think is unlikely, then I think, James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to stick around. Like why fix something that isn't broken? So I digress there, but John, I mean, I don't know, is there anything else you'd like to add to that, or do you agree with what I was saying?
I pretty much said my piece. I don't really have much else to say about this. It's an interesting tidbit that this was mentioned, but we'll see where this goes. Because he loves DC could mean a trillion different things.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, nothing is guaranteed, but I mean, as of right now, the only thing we know for sure is James Gunn and Peter Safran have a contract that runs till summer of 2027.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still, doing work at business as usual, because there's still a chance that this deal doesn't go through. There's still a chance it takes a while to go through. And so until, said deal closes, it's business as usual, and the DCU is going to go on and keep doing what it's doing. Man of Tomorrow, the Batman Part 2, Supergirl, Clayface, everything that's in the works will continue on as expected. And it looks like David Ellison, seems to be saying for the most part, he's not trying to rock the boat necessarily on things that are working. We're not going to talk about CNN, but I mean, I was just pointing out HBO, and DC Studios. I think you'd be a fool to let go of Casey Bloys, James Gunn, and Peter Safran. Like, those three are probably like three of the most high-profile, successful executives they've got, alongside Pam Abdy and Mike DeLuca at Warner Brothers Picture Group. So, if I was David Ellison, I wouldn't be letting them go. So, yeah. Thank you, Johnny, for that zinger there at the end.
But that's it. That is it for today, guys. That was all the DCU Daily things we had. Thank you for watching this wonderful Hump Day edition of DCU Daily.
Guess what day it is? Hump Day.
Anyway, but
what's the name of the person? Mike. What is it? What day is it, Mike? What day is it? Guess what day it is? Hump Day. Yeah, anyway, sorry. All time great commercial.
Like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when we go live. Make sure to comment. So if you have any questions for us or anything we're talking about, comment it, because then we could talk about it on Friday for a nice little
We love the Q&As. So. We love making those fancy graphics and put your comments on screen and make it a little topic.
And Dan itself likes to come up with little taglines for each week. So give him that, guys. Give him that excitement. Come on now. But thanks for watching, and remember, always be #blessed at the beginning, but also at the end.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka.
And with all of that, to hell with Jeff Snyder, David Ellison, and Tom King. To hell with all three of them.